The quality of your thinking will determine the quality of your life. I love that quote a lot. Good morning and good afternoon or good evening, depending on when and where you're watching from. Welcome to Professionals Daily Devotion with Olasukomi Okweifa. And this morning we'll continue our series on what do you call it now? Roadmap, okay? Creating a mental roadmap. And we're looking at how can own a thinking model. And to stress it, the quality of your thinking actually determines the quality of your life. So if you see that you have a goal, you don't really realize to really hit that your goal. Most of the time, you fall to the level of your thinking. I mean, this is a quote that has been turned in different way, but the truth is that you only function at the level of your thinking. If something is thrown at you and your thinking ability cannot pick it, you cannot do it. I remember in any lockdown, I told a colleague that okay, I have this particular idea, but I don't want to do it alone for female teachers. Can you go ahead and do it? And when I threw it at her, I thought she was going to pick it. She said, no, it's too much for me because she could not see it that way. Her thinking ability at that moment would not picture, would not help her to see how she can quickly grab it. And I've seen a case where you threw an idea of someone and the person will pick it and say, oh, thank you. And then remodel it again and come up with something very fantastic. The difference between the two is their thinking ability. Before I go forward there, please, if you're in Abuja, in the FCT, or around Abuja, the Phenomenon 3.0 is coming up on June 28th. Please, you don't be looking at the entrepreneurial thinking teachers. I mean, teachers that are thinking outside the box and at the same time making their own life better, yet very meaningful in the classroom. So if you want to register for it, www.phenomenonedu.com.ng. Once you enter the website, you are going to see register for 3.0. Click on register, keep your ticket because that will be your fast track to enter the hall. And if you are not in Abuja, you can also join us online. We are going to let you see the link, but you also need to register because there'll be goodies attached to your registration, and we don't want to lose your registration this time around. So please register and share it to someone. Check our website there. So let's quickly move on. We all think, not all thinking leads to clarity, not all thinking leads to growth, and not all thinking leads to results. In this noisy environment and noisy world, see, the edge you have is not the information. Everybody have access to information now. Your ability to now think better with the information that you now have is the edge you have. You see, great thinkers don't just think harder, they think smarter, they use models, they have structure, they have framework, okay, very intentional with their thinking. So, regardless whether you are solving a work problem, you are leading a team, you are making a personal decision, owning a thinking model is a strategic advantage. And we're going to talk about that. But because this is just 10 minutes, I'm going to be organizing a masterclass, and we are going to. I mean, we won't charge so much. I mean, that will be my first masterclass that I'll be charging, but we won't charge you so much. We're going to have a masterclass where we're going to talk about different thinking models that you can adopt. And you see, I observed my life one day, and I felt like I must have stumbled on this particular information somewhere. That I have a way of thinking. When you throw a piece of information at me, there is a way I absorb it. There is a way I take it, and then it has been working for me. So oftentimes when I want to change my pattern deliberately, maybe to react in a particular way, I face a level of tragedy because it's not in the direction of my thinking. So it's positive. Actually, some people tend to have the negative kinds of thinking where things come to them and it has been affecting and limiting their ability to function. This is what we are going to be looking at in the master class there. Something very practical, something you can own and say, yes, this is what I have gotten. You know, we talk practically here. Let's see what research says about thinking, why structured thinking matters. Harvard Business Review says that professionals with a clear thinking strategy make decisions faster by 25%. They make 25% faster decisions, and then they also reduce their regret level by 50%. World Economic Forum for this year, 2025 outlook says that analytical thinking and innovation remain top two most in demand professional skills globally. And yes, as an executive professional, I actually know this that when you want to employ someone, what we are actually testing may not just be your question, but your ability to respond. Your analytical thinking is what we are looking at. And then Stanford Graduate School says that leaders who use thinking framework are better managers, okay, and they reduce ambiguity and uncertainty. And this is a key trait to thrive in today's innovation economy. So, how do you think? Let's look at a framework, how to own a thinking model. So, this is the foundation for it. The first one is learn how to track your thoughts. Learn how to capture your thoughts, okay, and track it and ask yourself, "No, this direction is just not too good. I think I'm overthinking. I think this is an assumption. No, I think I'm already judging. Okay, no, this is a recurring pattern of the way I think." Once you can do that, that's the beginning of your success of owning the thinking model. Okay, pay attention to the way you process information. When they throw something at you, do you always react, or do you always react with fear at the same time? So you need to learn how to track it and then withdraw and tell yourself the truth. See, nothing works better when you learn how to reflect on yourself. Okay. The H there is, we are looking at the framework think, THINK. We have looked at T. The H is hold the right question. Okay. Thinking is triggered by questioning. That's why I like the Socratic method. Socrates will be using questions, okay, to dig deeper and deeper into it. What is really happening here? You want to trace the real issue, okay? What am I not seeing? When this person said this, what could have been at the back of his mind based on what he has said before? Evidence-based thinking, okay, based on relationship. When I'm supposed to move like this, okay, is this just ordinary, what do you call it, eulogy? Are they just praising me? Oh, you are the best, you are wonderful, you are this. And then behind the thought, you can also hear some other things that I don't mind. You are just overrating it, I don't mind. You are just thinking and asking questions. Okay, what are they really saying? What are they not saying? Then you want to investigate. This is the I. Investigate before you interpret. Okay, find out. Don't jump into conclusion. Pause. Explore. Explore the fact, not just the feeling. Curiosity beats certainty in powerful thinking. Okay, when you are very curious, you search deeper and deeper, and that's what happens to you. At times the answer may not even come immediately, but because you are very curious, your mind is already put in a particular direction. It all depends on how often you use your mind to think in that direction. Before you know it, you will see that there will just be a scale falling off your eyes. There will be a eureka moment where you discover that this is the truth there. So investigate, read about it, ask questions, seek another person's opinion about it too. But you are not taking it emotionally. You are just taking it from that angle that, okay, if you can say this, you can say this, see all this together and then make a decision, which is the next one. Narrow it down. Okay, simplify complexity. Okay, focus on what truly matters. I mean, somebody told me something, I didn't like to get angry. I said, okay, will that solve the problem, or it doesn't matter the process? That will solve a problem, right? So I had to, it doesn't matter. We're going to get to there and be a leader that will learn to simplify something and focus on the most important thing there. Thinking doesn't mean being overwhelmed, okay? Yeah, well, I'm not talking about worrying. Yeah, that I need to say that, okay? It's just like you are clarifying your focus. I used to have someone around me, then she would never allow me to think because she knows that by the time I think, he said I'm a critical thinker, I will overthink, and then she gets worried. She got worried because I was thinking too much. All right, but I'm not thinking too much. I'm talking about clearing issues here. And the last one is keep improving your thinking. So thinkers don't settle, okay? You keep on evolving, you think better by even reading books, listening to people. I mean, the kind of quality of people you listen to, okay, also determines how best you think. I mean, you are the type that every day on TikTok, every day on Facebook reads, the kind of people you have are just, you understand, they are not people that can help you brood and think properly. Your thinking process will be very poor also. So finally, just be intentional about your thinking. Okay, you can learn to write down your thoughts. Okay, you can learn to ask proper question, reflect to filter. Okay, and then move forward when you get the clarity there. We're going to be organizing a masterclass. I'm committed to this, and I mean it now. Okay, and please just kindly for us, don't forget to register for Phenomenon 3.0, and let's take our words of affirmation quickly. Say this after me. I lead with clarity. I think with depth. I grow through intentional thought. My mind is not a prison, it is a pathway to purpose. Thank you for joining this morning, this moment, or whenever you are joining. Phenomenon 3.0 will be very powerful. Okay, we are looking at the entrepreneurial thinking teacher. That's a model of thinking that is very scarce in education. And if you are not an educator, you also want to join us. Online is there, physically is there.